And then it was Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition, to another installment of Hashtag Fade to Black. For the first time ever, I'm not going to introduce myself. I'm going to introduce my panel. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you Anita Joe, aka Teach. Welcome
Good
back,
evening.
and
How
welcome
are
back,
you?
and also to welcome back. He wasn't here the last show, but he's here now. Beast Johnson.
How we
And
doing? How we doing? Hey, Teach. How we doing this evening?
Hey, Beast. How are you? Missed you.
I know,
I know.
right? And
I
then
saw. I was able to check in to tap in on the show.
Mhm. That's good.
That's good. Spying on us.
I know, right? He don't want nobody
I think
talk
that's
no
what
trash.
Professor O does. I think he spies on us.
I know, Mr. O, you need to come back. And then me, your host, Donnell Lamonte Morris. Mayo will be running late, so he gonna be dropping into the shows a little bit later. So today's show is going to be One Night in Miami, as you're going to talk about this Amazon movie that came out with the legends of Sam Cooke. I don't know. I keep on saying Elijah Muhammad, but Muhammad Ali, at the time he was Cassius Clay, Malcolm X, and Jim Brown. And so we're gonna give our views, but y'all know what we do before this show gets started. We like to do a little thing called opening statements. And as of late, I've been the lead, so I'm just gonna keep that going because I got something I want to get off my chest. Get something off my chest before we even get to the opening statements. Beast, please introduce the first half sponsor.
Well, this first half of Fade to Black is sponsored by Sky Zone Society, your headquarters for all haberdashery needs. The finest of fashionable apparel, the most vainglorious of videography visuals. That's Sky Zone Society. Check them out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my final thought. Show's not even ending yet. Hold on, let me gather myself real quick. I apologize. Hold up. I'm telling you, those conservative Trump supporter tears taste so good. Hold on. All right. Now, what I was about to say. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this with you. So one of our videos on YouTube got a comment from, I won't say a hater, but I want to consider this person a troll. It was when we had the show on the breaking news on what happened in Kenosha. Now, for anybody who been watched the show but who tuned into the show for the very first time, we have a panelist that is related to Jacob Blake, and that's Seepaway. And also, we still want to give our blessings and all of our goodwill to Seepaway as he's going through this issue right now. So we interviewed not only just Seepaway, who was a panelist, like I said, we also interviewed his uncle on the whole entire situation, what's been going on up there in Kenosha. So this troll literally decided to give his view. Like anybody else, we open to everybody to, giving, what they say and all that stuff. And, everybody got a right to voice their opinions. So I'm going to show y'all this comment. So let me go ahead and share this with y'all real quick. So hopefully y'all can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the comments. I'm gonna let y'all give a look. So this guy basically is trying to justify why Jacob Blake got shot 7 times. Let me say that again. This person right here was trying to justify why Jacob Blake got shot 7 times. I encourage y'all to actually go to our page, which is my channel, but it's our channel now, to actually go and look at these comments. I'm gonna go ahead and stroll down. So I tried to have a discussion with him. I told him to give me concrete evidence, reliable sources that backs up your claim. I mean, he was making up claims of like he raped the girl and that he was an abuser, and said that he did have a knife. Yes, Jacob Blake did admit that he had a knife, but it was in the car. It's not like he took the knife out and threatened the officers. And so for his source of evidence, he was going over YouTube videos from Brandon Tatum. Now, if y'all saw our first few episodes last year, me and Teach, we actually, and then our boy, Mr. Allen, who needs to come back on the show too as well, did a dissection. And then also Beast, I believe Beast was on that show too. We did a dissection of his video when he was, what happened with Ahmaud Arbery. So he has been a fixture on this show. This man was literally putting up links to this man's page saying that, look, he's an ex-cop. He knows what he's talking about. Here's a lesson for each and every one of y'all. If somebody gives you facts just that week, and not to mention his racism was coming out as well, because he said that I was separating black people from everybody, when all I was saying was black people are the most targeted people in all of America, maybe even the world. That's not complaining. That's not me doing a generalization. That's not even fact. That's the truth. And that truth is becoming the way of life. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I'm gonna go ahead and stroll down just a little bit more, and then I try to send another comment, which I'm gonna give YouTube, wave my finger at YouTube, because I actually invited this guy to come on the show. I invite anybody with a different outlook than anybody on this show to come on. We love to have people on this show with a different mind or different theory or anything like that. I encourage it. I believe my panelists will encourage it. So let me go ahead and take this off the screen. We encourage it. If you believe that all lives matter, we invite you to come on the show and tell us why. But realize that you're going to get this work too. Don't be like, it's just my opinion. Y'all being mean to me and all that stuff. No, no, no. When you step into the fire, expect to get burned. But YouTube kept taking away my comment. I tried to put it in like at least 10 times and I just gave up. So I took the picture of it, which I will share after the show. So y'all saying, Morris, why are you talking about this? I like to meet with the trolls head on. I would love to have people who believe that this show is racist, calling me a racist, which I can only just be prejudiced. Ladies and gentlemen, black people can't be racist, even by definition. So sorry to hurt your feelings. A racist cannot be thrown around like the M word. Nah, ain't happening. So I'm sending out this invitation to y'all right now. To anybody with a different ideology than anybody on this platform, come on the show. I am one message away. Find our Facebook page, Fade to Black, the only show out there on Facebook right now. Message us. Say that you want to come on the show and express your views. We be respectful. We will be courteous to you. But when you start spewing bullshit and you don't have the facts to back it up, or the facts that you have is weak, we will let you know. So I encourage you to come on and tell us why you feel that Black lives don't matter. Explain to me when you say all lives matter. Explain to us why you back the blue so much. Why you think Black people should just get over slavery. The floor is open. But one thing that you're not going to do is justify a man getting shot 7 times, and not to mention with his kids in the car in my presence. Because I'm going to call it like it is. And you can bring those Negroes, I said it, bring those Negroes that shame us to make you feel good. So you can say, well, your own people is saying this. It's not me. They saying it. Making you feel good, because guess what? It don't make you even more right. You far from it. And it's up to people like myself, like Teach, like Beast, like Seepaway, Mr. O, Allen, and Mayo to check you on it. And with that, I yield the floor.
Good evening. Excuses are tools of the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness. Those who use them seldom accomplish anything. Therefore, I have no excuses. This should be the hallmark and the mantra of accountability. Good, bad, ugly, and different. If you played a part in it in some way, own up to it, acknowledge it, accept it, and move on. Do what you need to do, make sure you're covered, and continue to live your fucking life. I don't think it can be done any more simpler. I know we live in a very advanced and technological era where everything is so complex and so intricate, but most of the greatest and most long-term bits of knowledge are quite simple and basic. So maybe we should pay attention. No matter what you're doing, you're going to fail. How can you know true success if you've never experienced failure? How can you know how to maintain true success if you've never known failure? So there's no need for excuses. Just chalk it up, learn from it, and move forward and be better on the next round. So once again, excuses are tools of the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness. Those who use them seldom accomplish anything. Therefore, I have no excuses. Hope you enjoy it. Let's start the show.
Manga Def, everyone. Remember, your response is Manga Free. Hello, how are you? I am fine. My opening statement. Since January the 20th, I believe our nation has had an opportunity to relieving ourselves of the stress of minus 45. The atmosphere has totally changed and we can feel it. People ask, or people that's being negative are saying, oh, what is Biden going to do? And we will watch day by day exactly what he does. And the only thing that we can do is to get our agenda together and get our opportunity and go before him to make any instrumental changes. Now, he did sign an executive order to diminish racial profiling in the housing segment. And I ask the average African American, is that satisfactory? What is it that we want? And I've been asking on the show, let's put together a 10-point program. Give me 1 point. Just give me 1 point. Because we are working. We're getting educated. We are buying houses, cars, planes, trains, and all type of toys. So what is it, Black America, that you want? Because there's been pushback to say, oh, getting housing, equitable housing, that's not enough, because we have grown and gone beyond Section 8. So I ask African Americans, what is it that you want? Be decisive. Let's make a plan to push it forward. Because as I have said, we of all races in this nation, we have pushed that needle of diversity. And if you want more of this American pie, then detail it. Detail it. Also, I had sent a clip talking about intra-African international trade. We can find ourselves with our brothers and sisters buying raw commodities, opening up manufacturing plants here in America or in the Caribbean. We can make that African connection to get what we want out of our lives, out of the economy, producing a whole new economy that we can control ourselves. Again, it goes back to, what do we want? Think about it and give a shout out from where you are. Tell us where you are listening from and give us some questions so we can address those questions in the broadcast. And that is my opening statement.
Well, we are back here. But Cheech, you had a great point, and I want to just touch on it just a little bit. Then we're gonna get into our topics. You are exactly right about us as Black folks. I think we just complain way too much when we have all the opportunities right in front of us to push our agendas. If we have issues, have the solutions, push it forward. And I'm gonna say his name, Boyce Watkins. For anybody who watches Boyce Watkins, he's really getting on my damn nerves. He reminds me of like a senile dog, because he is just saying the same thing over and over again. Like, look at the executive orders that he's writing. Look at what he's doing. He's not doing anything that contributes to Black people. I'm like, damn. Like, did you even vote? You was one of the people that sit there and say, don't vote. Your vote don't matter. They don't listen to us. But then you're going to get mad when he don't do nothing at all. It's like you already got in your mind that he ain't gonna do nothing. Why are you still running your damn mouth? What are you doing to change anything? And that is the one thing of us Black folks, because you got a lot of people that take his word and they just run with it. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all need to start questioning these folks. What are you doing to improve my life? That all the issues that I'm having today, I don't have to worry about it tomorrow, or at least half of it gets solved tomorrow. Because right now you're just offering lip service, nothing to help systemically, nothing to help to improve and change my life. And Boyce Watkins is one of those regressors that just he's part of the peanut gallery that just talks a good game. You know, the backseat driver. You sitting there trying to drive the Walmart, and he's sitting there trying to tell you, "Hey, make a left right here." I know where I'm going. No, make a left right here. And then you get to the point where you pull over, like, you know what? Why don't you drive the damn car? No, this is your car, man. This is your car. I'm just riding. That's the type of people we're dealing with. Yeah, these are the type of people that we're dealing with, like Boyce Watkins. And I say this to y'all, and excuse my language, shut the fuck up. If you don't have nothing to contribute to bring to the table that you can offer that's better than what we have right now, which, like I said countless times, is the best opportunity for Black folks to put their issues with the solutions forward to your local administrators. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll do you one better for the Black folk, for us Southerners. If all you bring to the cookout is napkins, don't complain about the cooking.
Right. Don't complain about the sodas that's coming to that everybody's drinking. Don't complain about Leroy's kids over there being mad as hell.
All you brought was utensils. All you got is some Dollar Tree forks and knives, and you brought about $4 worth of napkins, $3 worth of plates. Don't complain about folk cooking. Don't complain if you feel like it's too salty. Don't complain about if you feel like it ain't enough. You should have invested more.
Right. Not even just that too. People that just come and don't bring a damn thing.
Oh, y'all ain't worse. Y'all ain't invited.
Y'all shouldn't even be here. Y'all shouldn't say anything. But we kind of.
Well, most of them is smart. Most of them is smart, so they don't really exist no more.
Yeah. We have the First Amendment that gives you the freedom of speech. It didn't say the freedom of legitimate speech, or the freedom of purposeful speech, or the freedom of good speech. It said you just had a freedom to slab off with the mouth.
Right.
and that's what people do. And that's my issue. Just give me one point that you would like to see different, that he would do that is not available. If they say, okay, well, we're going to work on the education bill. Well, already you can get the Pell Grant and get the Stafford loan and the Jenny Mae loan and all the other loans if you want education. If you want to go to vocational school, it takes your effort to get there and go and learn. If you want to go into business, they have courses if you don't want to go to the educational route and go get a business degree, you can go to the local college and go to the College of Lifelong Learning and learn how to write a business plan, learn what you need to do to construct your business. A lot of it has to come down to what is your own, as the old folks will say, gumption. Because I think we have access to everything that we need. And when it comes to better housing, I lived in different cities and I've seen what they call the projects or the Section 8 housing. And in some cities, when you go there, that's the projects. In some cities, like, these are nice houses. I would like to live here. And they're like, oh no, these are our projects. Okay, what's the difference? Yeah, what's the difference? Some people have a pride in where they live, and they maintain their living space. And some people don't have any pride, thinking that since this is the government should pick up my pop bottle or ice cream wrapper out of the front yard. Okay. No, that's on you. You should clean up your yard. And if you put out the trash and the dogs or the animals tear it up, you should be able to contain it. That's how you're living. So I think sometimes we have a difficulty separating what is our own personal responsibility and that of the government. Now, I do know when it comes to lending that it can improve greatly. because I do know that they still redline and racially profile in terms of the
Yeah.
lending cases.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, just
So I know they need to clean that up. A black person shouldn't have to pay 3 more times the amount of mortgage as their neighbor next door, and they have the same credit score.
Mm-hmm. Or
or
even
on
better.
the flip, a black person shouldn't have an appraisal that's 3/4 less than what a white person
Exactly.
would for the exact same house.
Exactly. So there's things that need to be cleaned up, need to be strengthened, and some just utterly need to be removed from the system. That's a work in progress. But today we have made more progress than we did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We made more progress than 25 years ago. So I asked, what is your point? What else do you need done? Do we want to get rid of racism? Yes. Will it be easy? No.
No.
But see,
Is there one stroke of the brush that can do it? No, because it's generational, and until they stop practicing it and passing it on to their next generation, we're going to always have racism. But we have to learn how to pull our economics and do things differently. We can't always look at that system. And I've talked about a closed system. And how many times I have to say, the Amish is a perfect example. They care not what the outside people think. They raise their chickens. They take them to market and we buy it. That's how they sustain themselves. Try to think outside of the box. We don't have to be a part of the system. We can link up with the brothers and sisters down in the Caribbean, Brazil, Chile, Argentina. All right. Tanzania had the best bananas. We can ship in Tanzanian bananas grown by blacks, raised by blacks, shipped by blacks, eaten by black people. We can do that if we put our heads together and stop trying to, as they say, get a seat at their table when you can go and build a whole house for yourself.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Exactly.
Tyler Perry, he said, while everybody sit there complaining why the Oscars so white, I'm building my table down here in Atlanta. And
Exactly.
right there says a lot. But when people listen to Boyce Watkins, or I'm gonna have to say his name, the Black Authority, you would think nothing has happened. You would think that man, I can't win for losing, and you could have got a brand new truck that
And
day.
those are the same voices and energies that you would hear from the aspects of ain't no good black men out there, ain't no black families out there. The black family is completely dead. That there might be cases of it. There might be a small prevalence in your area, but the global aspect of it is completely off kilter to what you're thinking. So out of 100%, you maybe got 2%. You still can't sit there and say, this is a fact. Like, not 2%.
No.
2% from 100, okay. 2% of 100, nah, bro.
Funny thing is, with us talking about this wraps so much into the movie we're talking about right now, is One Night in Miami. If y'all haven't seen it, spoiler alerts, there's going to be a lot of spoiler alerts going on here. So please, if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to tune in a little bit later when I post this show on tomorrow. But for those who have seen it, we're going to deep dive into the conversations and also the different worlds from both Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, from Malcolm X, and from Sam Cooke. So my question is this. So what was your first reactions to the worlds colliding on that night? The conversations and the different viewpoints of Black people.
When you think about them individually, and you just think when you think about who they were as individual men and what their mentalities were, and a lot of their principles, it's not really surprising. It's more or less like it'd be more surprising if you found that it never happened because of who they were and the fact that all of them being quote unquote celebrities or being in that public eye, so having to intermingle amongst their respective circles, there was going to be some overlap at some point between either music and the sports, even with the two sports between Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown. At some point, there'd have been some kind of crossover between them two, which would have led to a crossover with Malcolm. Everybody loved music. So at some point, they, so to hear all of them together is like, well, I'm not really surprised, especially when you know the history of who they were. It's more or less like I could bet that was a pretty interesting conversation them brothers had.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Cheech?
Well, my first thought is cream always rises to the top. And it is no wonder that these four individuals were rising or at the top of their life at that particular time in the movie. And one thing kind of stood out more than anything else, and I don't know if anybody else caught it, but the whole idea of imperialism, the imposition of one's thoughts and beliefs upon another person. The idea that my thought for your life is greater than your thought for your life. That, for me, was the biggest turnoff.
I can agree with that too, Cheech. For me, it's actually two aspects for me. I actually talked to y'all about a little bit before the show. It was working within the system and working without the system. For anybody who been watching the show all of last year, me and Seepaway, we bump heads on this subject about he believes we can work outside the system and have our own, while I believe that we can do what he's saying within the system and make a change so it can fit our narrative and that we don't have to worry about racism as much. So that was the dialogue between Sam Cooke and with Malcolm X. And then the other aspect for me that really I said, I want to deep dive into this is the religion part, because obviously everybody know Malcolm X, he was a Muslim. He believed in the Islamic faith. And then Sam Cooke, who believed in Christianity, Jesus walks. So you had that collision, that collide, and all that stuff. That, to tell you the truth, that's
also the conversion as well.
Right.
Ali, at the time he was Cassius. Yeah. So historically, this is a moment. This is potentially the moment that led Cassius to becoming Muhammad.
Yes. So for me, the reason why the religious part really got me was because I saw flaws in both of them. I saw flaws in both of them. So with Christianity, I think we haven't harped too much on Christianity too much. So in our next shows, future shows, we're definitely gonna get down on religion much more, mainly Christianity. So So when Sam Cooke was defending Christianity, it just made me think like what Malcolm X said. I'm paraphrasing what he said. Was like, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna pray off a white man's religion, But I thought further than that. I thought more down the road. Now I said, how about I just take out the white man part of it and just think of Christianity as a whole? What have Christianity done to improve the life of Black people? Think about it. Everybody say, in the name of Jesus. I mean, literally, ladies and gentlemen, literally think about it. Just literally think about it. When Dr. King and John Lewis, when they walked that bridge with those pastors with them, and Martin Luther King, or Reverend himself, man of God, did Jesus stop him from getting his ass beat? I hate to say it like that, but I'm gonna be vulgar so I can get your attention. Just sit back and think about it. Did it save them? No, it did not. Even though after it, we eventually got what we wanted with civil rights, the right to vote, but at the same time, Dr. King realized during the integration, he said that I felt like I just led my people into a burning house.
Mm-hmm.
So what have Christianity done? Think of the black family in the South. Let's go to Alabama. Let's go there. Other than your football team, what else do y'all value of black folks? Do you even care about where these kids come from? That's what they are, kids. Even though they look stocky and buff, they look like they are older than me or Beast or Teach. But these are 21, 22-year-olds, maybe even 20 years old. They're playing this sport of football or basketball. Outside the uniform, do you see them as a person? I mean,
you actually know their first name.
Right. And even with this racism, they could give a damn if you pray to the same God that you do. Like one part in even though I'm going off a different movie, but I'm trying to connect the dots for y'all. Like in that one movie, Mississippi Burning, when they had choir practice and the Klan was sitting right outside waiting for them, raped the women, beat the men to the inch of their lives. And then that one kid, he wanted to do something, but guess what he did? He got on his knees and he started to pray. That prayer didn't stop that one classman from knocking him down in the face. But people still pray to God and still read their Bibles, still say their prayers and all that stuff. So that's the flaw that I saw what Sam Cooke was saying. And not to mention, he's from the South. You got that one, everybody had that one auntie, that one grandma that always say, you better get up. We going to church. We going to bless you. We going to church today. Everybody know they got that. Everybody got that aunt. We going to church. We going to Sunday school. Some even remember they didn't even have a car. They had to walk those dusty roads. Could be 5 miles away. Oh, we walking in the rain. Oh yeah, we walking. But tell me,
I got to go to church and praise my God.
Right. But tell me, after that Sunday, and I'm still talking about the Deep South, did anything change? Did your life got better? Or you had to keep looking into your kids' eyes and tell them it's not always going to be like this?
We were dealing with a downtrodden people, and when you feel helpless, the Bible, the church, the ideology that someone somewhere in the atmosphere will advocate for you is deeply ingrained in the people of oppression. Is deeply ingrained. And those same people of oppression will not accept that the Bible was commissioned 50 years after slavery got underway as a means to control the slave trade. Because this is one thing about a particular race. When is something good, they are exclusive. They build walls, they build territories, they redline, and it's for them first. When it is something bad, then it becomes a world problem. Everybody has to suffer for this. And even in this current pandemic, they want to claim it as a world pandemic. But you see, it's only mass destruction in the countries in which they originate. Mm-hmm. All other countries, they may have a case or two here, maybe a death or two here, but they don't have that runaway problem like the countries that have the high numbers. So when they put forth their cosmology, I mean, I can go deep with this. When they put forth their cosmology, they made it the world cosmology. They say, this happened to us, so therefore the world is guilty. We sinned, but the world is guilty. Not that they sinned. Oh no, how dare they stand out as sinners? Yeah. Because they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. All the rest of the people were left in the Garden of Eden. Okay? They were left back there. Only those that had sinned were kicked out. But when they wrote their scriptures, they wrote it that everybody had sinned. And how did the scripture go? All have sinned and come short of the, for the glory of God. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's how they write their cosmology. And this is the reason why I say it's very good to travel, because when you travel and go into places where they have culture, understanding the difference between culture and religion. Religion was made by man to be a governing system for a community. Culture is given by God. Culture gives the people their language, their instruction, their food, the things that are taboo, the foods that they eat. Mm-hmm. Okay? Culture gives you your DNA. Okay? So culture is totally different from religion. And one thing about culture, and this is where we need Mayo and Professor O and others that we can invite. You may have two cultures that coincide. Say I'm just say two people, the Ashanti and the Accra Prim. They both occupy the same space or right next to each other in the region where we know as Ghana. They both have two different creation stories. They speak two different languages. They have two different, what was be considered holy days or taboo. They both have dietary restrictions that are different from one another, but they live in the same region. All right. So because culture is DNA specific, watch what I'm saying. These two people that speak two different languages, that have two different DNA patterns in the same geographical region, they respect one another's culture. If this culture sins or go against what is for them, they suffer. These people don't have nothing to do with it because it's not theirs. And likewise, if these people do something that's wrong in their culture, these people don't have nothing to do with it because it belongs to them. But you have religion that says, because I sinned, I don't want to be seen alone as a sinner. So the world has sinned. Everybody has sinned. Mm-hmm. But if it comes to wealth, only I can be rich. Only I can be wealthy. Oh, you're second class. Oh, you're third class. This is not for you. This only for us because we're chosen. We're special. We came from God. That's the biggest lie that has ever been told. It has hoodwinked, bamboozled our people.
It's confused.
Actually, it is the greatest form of witchcraft because so many people believe it because somebody said it.
Yep. It's teaching, and that right there, I think that's the best right there of describing Sam's Cook position as with Christianity. And that's the biggest issue that we see before us, but we pretend that there's no issue. Not trying to get too much off the subject. We got 2 minutes to the top of the hour. I was just watching Roland Martin, the clergy, whereas black and white pastors,
excuse me,
they actually just had a mandate on how to deal with black pastors without even talking to the black pastors. And now all the black pastors want to get out of this this group now, because it's like you're gonna sit there and tell us how to handle us without having neither black pastors, clergymen, or women sitting at the table. And so I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I looked more into it, but yeah, that is Sam's Cook type of view on religion of Christianity. Now, before we get to the top of the hour too as well, now here's the flaws that I see in Malcolm X. Couple things that Sam Cook got him on, and this was the top one. Every time when Malcolm X would be explaining the Nation of Islam or explaining his beliefs, he always say whether
Honorable Muhammad.
Honorable Muhammad, and Sam Cook stops him. He said, "Why you always gotta say him? I was asking you. What do you feel? What do Malcolm X feel about this? What do you say? I don't care what he thinks or what he says." And that is the biggest, and y'all know I be talking about Mr. Farrakhan up there, Louis Farrakhan. I be bashing him on the show. I don't have a shame of it, but I want to bring that to the forefront. But Sam Cook has a point. What do you, Malcolm X? I mean, what do you, Malcolm X? What do you say? What do you feel? Why should I become a Muslim? Or why should I join the NOI? Why do I have to, just to join the NOI to improve my life as a black man, but I have to be a Muslim? And I say, you know, go ahead, teach real quick.
And that's what I was alluding to in my first statement, is that as far as I was concerned, Sam Cooke was at the top of his game. He owned his own company, and he explained that he was helping black people by getting them royalties. It may have been in an unconventional way, or a way that it seemed like he sold out, but once they started getting the check, then they were able to see, okay, we didn't like this at first, but every time that song plays, I get a check. So Sam Cooke was working in his lane. All right. He was employing people. He was doing what he needed to do. I felt Sam Cooke was successful in terms of giving back, or giving a hand up to the next person, to the next star, to the next musician, songwriter, singer, dancer. He was not working for himself, but he had opportunities for other people. And I think that in that scene, Malcolm X was so overwrought and blindsided by his own agenda that what he was trying to impart into Sam was already living it.
Right. Hold to that thought, Tish. This is the top of the hour, even though we 2 minutes off the top of the hour. That's my fault. But everybody back to your corners. We're going to go take a little break, and we're going to deep dive much more on Malcolm X side, and also what the panelists, what they got from the movie too as well. We'll be right back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Wet Network is officially up. If you have not seen it, bam, you got no excuse no more. Just put that link, search, and you there. You will see shows that you loved or miss of today and also from last year. We need more content creators. It's up. No more running. We're here now. Time for y'all to jump on board, or you just want to sit back and entertain, just go to our channel right there at the bottom once again. So let's go ahead and continue on Malcolm X's side. Now, Malcolm X, when you in over your head, I think Malcolm X, he realized that he was in over his head, and then also he was getting out of the NOI. And it really opened my eyes to what I always believed about the NOI, about Malcolm X's exodus, as you would call it. That some people still believe that it was the FBI. They believe that the FBI was all in it. And honestly, I'm here to say I think that's only part of the story. Because to tell you the truth, I think if we're going to meet in the middle on this, I believe that it was a co-op job. Mm-hmm. And in a way, had a hand in it, and that's why I have my disdain with Minister Farrakhan, because Malcolm X, he really wanted to be the next. He was actually up to be the next man in charge of the NOI.
Yep.
And he was up there. Minister Farrakhan, I won't say he was a distant third, but he was there with Malcolm X, but Malcolm X was the one that everybody wanted. So, right. So my thing is, Malcolm X back was against the wall because he looked like he was timid to explain or even tell them that I'm leaving, that I don't, I'm about to do my own thing because it's getting hot, and they think I'm bigger than the NOI, which that's not even the case. I'm trying to do Allah's work, and they're looking at me as being this big celebrity that's more than, I won't say master, but that's more than I keep forgetting his name. Not Minister Farrakhan, but the other one, Elijah Muhammad, which he wasn't.
I think Malcolm X suffered from naivete. He started out, hear me out. He started out Detroit Red, running the streets, running women, doing a few things, getting locked up, doing dope. And he went through a conversion. He changed over. And he truly believed in the righteousness that was being talked about or preached in the Nation of Islam. So with virgin eyes, virgin converted eyes, he was heartbroken to find out that these men are only men. And they're only doing what men do, run women, have babies all over town. he was disappointed. He was heartbroken.
I think
because it was the messages from the Nation of Islam that helped him turn his life around, that directed his faith, that made him internally become a better person, not only for himself, his family, and eventually the whole entire African world. When he went to the United Nations, he turned the civil rights movement into a human rights movement. He elevated it on that stage and brought attention to what was happening in America to the rest of the world. He was gaining in popularity as well as celebrity. And they thought that he had entirely too much power. And so when they removed him, he was hurt. He was hurt.
Yeah.
Because he was sold out to Allah. But in that moment, he realized it was men that was running the NOI.
Yeah.
And be it Islam or Christianity, when you undergo your faith as a virgin and truly believe all the tenets that are being taught, and when your eyes are open to the people that's teaching you, and you know that you have changed, you know you're going through a mind transformation, a heart transformation, a body transformation, a spiritual transformation, only to find out that these people that led or taught you how to transform are not even transformed. They are the worst people. They have the worst sins, and they currently delve into everything they told you not to do. They currently do it. Be it homosexuality, be it polygamy, be it running numbers, running prostitutes, whatever. Whatever you saw, quote unquote, out there in the street,
they was doing
they
that.
found in the Nation of Islam, they found in Christianity. So he was heartbroken. But in his zeal, he wanted to impress upon Sam Cooke. He wanted to highlight and wanted him to do as he did, to go from elevating the cause, the Black cause, from civil rights to human rights. He wanted him to change his format of music. He wanted him to fill out that space that he had as a celebrity to send a message of hope, of inspiration, more so than what he had been doing. The failure that I see in that line of thinking was that Sam Cooke had gotten where he was because of what he was doing. And you have to secure, so to speak, your spot in celebrity before you can make a drastic move. Because I think you all introduced me to the cancel culture.
Oh boy.
If you're not where you can be prime and untouchable, you can get canceled out real quick. Just fade to the back.
You're right.
And you don't have a message, you don't have a platform, you don't have nothing. All you have is being blackballed. Because that was the time. Who was that sang at the Trump administration? And she got blackballed.
Chrisette Michele.
Chrisette Michele.
Okay. She got blackballed just because she sang at his inauguration. He's a president. I don't think that was a reason
she didn't
to
get
blackball
blackballed. She got blacked out. She got
not only that,
but because she wasn't high enough, she wasn't big enough, she wasn't strong enough to hold that position.
And she didn't get paid for it neither, which is the crazy thing too. She didn't get paid. She did. She did. For anybody who didn't know that, well,
Yeah.
knew that she
That's
got
a tragic
blackballed.
laughter.
Because she admitted that they didn't get the check for that night. Didn't get the check. So
Was it supposed to be a check?
yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. She said it on, I believe she said it on the Breakfast Club. She went there, she was supposed to get a check, no check.
John ran out on the trick.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, he's here.
What's up? What's up, family? How you doing?
But yeah,
What you guys say?
but to go into the point that you was also saying, Teach, it really did open Malcolm X's like eyes to like what is going on. Like everybody had that one person that they looked up to. They couldn't do no wrong, and you know they great. But then when you get them behind closed doors, and they that different person than what you seen in the public, it's a very crushing. It's very crushing. Yeah, very heartbreaking because it happened to all of us. Because when you see somebody that you looked up to, that's why they say your idols become your rivals, and sometimes in some cases you shouldn't even meet your idols because you're probably gonna come out heartbroken because your idol may think, "Oh, you trying to take my spot," or your idol's not even going to recognize you at all. Like, who are you? Here, take my autograph and you can go ahead. Or it could be something entirely different, like a Kobe Bryant, rest his soul, who his anniversary of his death was I think it was yesterday. Who you can meet him and it seemed like, damn, I think I'm talking to one of my homeboys on the block, but I gotta keep telling myself this is Kobe Bryant. You know, you meet one of those once in a lifetime type of people. But I can imagine how Malcolm X felt, and then not to mention he's bringing Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, into the nation, and he's about to leave. So
I think what it really was with him, like I said, he was about to leave, but he kind of saw the writing on the wall. So, you know, he saw that there's benefits because I'm pretty Christian before he became Malcolm X.
Excuse me.
He's a Southern boy just like everybody else. So there was some level of Christianity. And after that conversation with Sam, I felt like he saw the chance to make us stronger by also building a kind of a coalition. I don't think necessarily he was trying to get him to, but just to get him to work with him alongside him, because he kind of figured maybe I can open his eyes up to Nation of Islam, but he probably felt like this man could probably open my eyes back up. But that naivety of just his approach came off with more recruitment than anything else. Like you said, he was trying to incorporate Muhammad. Makes sense, but if why would he waste that time and energy unless he was trying to leave it and continue the good work took from it.
Go ahead, Mayo.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. I think that my biggest takeaway from the movie or from the story in general, just because it's a real true story, is the fact that the mainstream media would never talk about how friendly this men are and how close they were. And we were not taught that much in school about that one night. The other takeaway is how weird that was, how the fact that they didn't do that, but like it wasn't like so many nights in Miami, 1 week in Miami, or 1 week in Philly, and 10 nights in Miami. I mean, you would have thought, that these folks should be doing this on a regular basis or whatever, and maybe they did, but that was just the one that was documented in the sense of being written down. When it comes to the nation, I've always looked at it as, like I believe the CIA, especially J. Edgar Hoover's FBI, were very much connected to the nation, and at that time, and because it was more like an economical thing for the nation, and Malcolm is all the way drawn in spiritually, and when that spirit hits you, regardless of what religion you hold, you start to believe 1,000%, then you find out and get disappointed. Things happen, and I think that truly he brought Cassius Clay in with the mindset that I'm gonna get the blessings and heaven or whatever, and I think you can see the writing on the walls, because it wasn't like a week or two of heat they was getting from the leadership in the nation. He'd been getting heat from them for a while. The more you kept rising up, the folks who are under Elijah Muhammad was putting a lot of heat on him. So he knew that if you were somebody who was spiteful, they'd be like, I'm not bringing nobody in. or, but he just, in his mind, I'm doing this for God. I'm doing it for Allah, whatever. No. And it's just, I still, out of everybody that I've ever read about and studied about, I've never studied about an individual like Malcolm. I think that is the most I've ever seen a man so divine, like that. Once it seems like everything he was doing was just like on autopilot, not on human being level. Even with his wife, and
he was anointed.
There you go. And another thing that I'm glad you said, another thing that pissed me off in the this not another thing. The one thing that pissed me off in the movie is it seems like they always try to play Betty Shabazz, like she got to be I don't want to say ugly or not good looking, because I believe every sister is good looking, but I looked at a sister that played her. She looks very, very good in real life. I mean, since other pictures and all, but the way they had her look in there, it's almost like why y'all got to play Sister Shabazz like that? Y'all don't have to do that. I don't know if that was but I've watched some movies, outside Spike Lee's, like Malcolm, with sister, what's the name, popular actress, but outside, like the sister that played Betty and Malcolm, which every other movie that I've seen that they've played Malcolm, they've had her looking like kind of like just a little bit down, and I'm like, you ain't gotta do that. So that was my little thing that I had with the movie, but everything else was good. I like it.
Yeah, so as Beast, he gonna be back. He got going through some technical difficulties right now. But for me, because I Sam Cooke, rest in peace. As much as I bash Christianity side, I'm getting at the Islam side, because, like I said, y'all know I be coming at Mr. Farrakhan a lot, but I still believe that Malcolm X knew that he was in over his head. That it was coming that time where, let me just go ahead and just count my cards, let me go ahead and just bring my chips in, let me go ahead and cash out. Or that old saying, get out while the getting's good, as they would say. And one of the things that really did hurt me in the exchange between Sam Cooke and Malcolm X, I really got ticked off at Malcolm X when he's sitting there putting his insecurities on Sam Cooke. Teach touched on it earlier in the show, where he's sitting there telling him, like, this is how you should do it.
What?
You sitting there working through the white man and da. It goes back to my second point of the what my takeaways from the movie was, you got one person that said we got to work outside the system, get our own, and we get what we want. And then you got somebody that's worked within the system saying, like, look, for us to create change, we have to get it from the inside. When people hear about, and hearing that made me think about the Trojan horse. People want to say the Trojan horse was such a negative thing, but that was the best military strategy at that time. Come in, have all your soldiers come in this big gift from another kingdom. I'm paraphrasing the story, but as a gift from this kingdom, everybody partying, getting drunk, and only thing you just gotta wait for is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and attack. How can a freaking intoxicated and drunk individual going to defend themselves? So if you can do that, right? So if you can do that from within, all the things that they have done and make it work against them, what can they do? By the time they sit there trying to go against the wall and come up with a different strategy, it's too late. Now it's switched. Now the narrative has switched. And when Sam Cooke helped out Bobby Womack to get the royalties on that song through his company, everybody was freaking getting paid. So he's telling Malcolm X that this is happening. Yeah.
He's a better example than Bobby Womack. I'm just saying.
So I'm saying what I'm saying is this: if I was in Malcolm X's, well, I won't say Malcolm X. That's some big shoes to fill. Rest in peace, Malcolm X too. But if I'm sitting there telling somebody, if I'm sitting there telling Teach like it's a better way to get to Walmart, but the way she's using is quicker to get to Walmart, I'm not gonna sit there and still criticize the way that she's taking. I'm gonna be like, all right.
Hell, I'm gonna take you with you. I might learn something.
Yeah, I might learn something. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the takeaways is, Malcolm X was a preacher, so he preached, but he didn't listen.
No, and
when you have a conversation, you have to balance talking with listening in order to engage in a full conversation. And if you look at it, they both were going head to head with their points, but they weren't coming together.
Yeah,
they weren't coming together. They bumping heads because he wanted to say what he was saying, and he was saying what he was saying and doing what he was doing. So that my only issue, major issue, goes back to imperialism, the imposition that this is part of the American fabric. It is part of our whole way of life, and we don't realize it. We don't realize that imposition carries itself into self-righteousness. It's my way. It has to be my vision. Only my vision is the best vision. And it clearly was not. He was successful even if he didn't even know Malcolm X. And this is where I like the fact that they did bring that out. That you have 4 superstars. They have 4 different ways of administering their gift and making an impact on the world.
Yeah, I'm happy that they did that too, because you got people that believe Malcolm X to the fullest, to like they don't question him. It's just like me. I'm gonna use football for example. I'm a big Cowboys fan. Everybody knows that, but not a Cowboys fan to the point where I believe that they don't do no wrong, that everything they do is right. If you come at my Cowboys, guess what? You're the sinner, you're wrong. And that's the biggest issue in this world too as well. And you only see it majority with us black folks. I guarantee
no, that's an American thing. That is an American thing. That is an American thing. Yes.
Certain aspects overall American. Certain aspects we kind of go extra.
We go extra, like with Christianity. Black people go extra with it. If I had somebody that was a big proponent with Minister Farrakhan, they will definitely come at me like, "Yo, Minister Farrakhan did this. He said that." Or people that listen to like Boyce Watkins, they will go ham for that man. You will have. Yeah,
my new folks are the Negro peons, like that. They be watching CNN and they think they know everything about politics now. That they they kind of like, oh, just yeah, you out here. They can tell you, oh, they stormed the Capitol. I'm like, Negro, I never heard you say Capitol before. We've been talking politics. What I mean? I'm like, so it's like, I call them the Negro peons, but I leave that alone. but
True.
Like,
ain't meant to be pretty ugly. It's the truth.
Right, but I think Malcolm X, to me, he should have been more of appreciative what Sam Cooke is saying. Like, look, I found a new avenue, an avenue that I created that worked, and I just want you to give me props for it. I mean, you my homeboys. Yes, we're gonna, as fellas, and then also the ladies, you're gonna have that one person that always want to excuse my language, what I'm about to say, gonna bust your balls, gonna come at you. But it's all in good fun, where it'd be like, you know what? I like what you're doing. But like going back to what you said, Teach, it was more of him sitting there saying, my way is the right way. I don't know what way you're doing, but this is the right way. And I think Malcolm X did more of appreciating what Sam Cooke has created, and not only created, but proven to work. I think the only person also that we have not mentioned too much is Jim Brown. Because Jim Brown, to me, he was kind of like the medium between both of them. Jim Brown didn't have Malcolm's side. He didn't even have Sam Cooke's side. He was there listening. He didn't have a dog in the fight because he already told him, like, look, I like
white girls.
Yeah, I love white women. I love pork chops. I mean, he was straight up with it. Like when
y'all not gonna change me.
Yeah.
I know who I am. I made peace with it.
Right. And so when Malcolm X was trying to get him with all the like, you should join the nation, and the great Elijah Muhammad said this, Jim Brown was like, don't bring that over here. I said, you my dog. I respect what you do. Don't bring that mess over here. And even with Sam Cooke, when he was sitting there talking about Christianity and doing this and doing all that, he was still saying, like, you should consider, voicing out for our people. You should consider it. Jim Brown was he's a perfect homeboy. I won't say perfect homeboy, but that's a homeboy that everybody should have. I think you will have that one that's not going to take Leroy's side or John's side. He's just going to sit back. He's going to or Linda and Cece. You got that one friend that's going to listen to both sides. But like, all right, cool. Y'all done? All right. Here's my take. But go ahead, Mayo.
So one thing, in between Malcolm and Sam Cooke, that was a very cringeful. I mean, I was cringing as I was watching them because I'm a diehard. I don't want to say Malcolm X follower, but someone who, well, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, like I believe that when I look at myself and the fight that I like to fight today, and for our community and for any downtrodden or oppressed community, I like the way Malcolm spoke up. It's plain truth. He did not hold back. I like that. I want to be more like that. So, but the one thing, like Sister Anita said earlier, and like we were all alluding to about Black folks or Americans, whichever way you want to look at it. But I think we kind of take it past them a little bit, like y'all said. But I think it's an American thing, or like American. What do you call it? American exceptionalism. That's what all the white American exceptionalism. Anybody like us. And it's kind of like that mindset, that egotistic. We know what's right. You ain't gonna tell us. And at the same time, we can't do the same thing too. Ain't gonna anybody tell me nothing. I mean, I know that's a song that came out, but and I mean, we hear that, like, nobody gonna tell me nothing. Like, who gonna check me, boo? Like all that kind of. I mean, those kind of attitude of nobody gonna tell me nothing different than what I know. And it's kind of like, calm down, pump the brakes. there's a few things that we know in life. Most of what you think you know is just what you believe or what you think. Because really, and if you want to talk about facts of life, there's a few things that we know. I mean, everything else is like, some theory that somebody, you either read it, watched it, or somebody listened to somebody, or if you saw it, it's even all about perspectives, the way you saw it from. I mean, and we just don't, like, I go back to that pie deal, like Cornel West and, Plato and Socrates and all them, the idea of having your open mind and being able to allow your mind to grow and evolve, and allow yourself to say, I might be wrong. Maybe I need to consider what the other person is saying. So that mindset, I never thought about that Malcolm might lack that idea, that, oh, let me see, if they, he was like, oh, I know it. Yeah, all y'all wrong. And it's like, like, dude, Sam Cooke is making a good point. He's making, he's killing. That's why, but to some level, like, yeah, I mean, he influenced Sam Cooke supposedly enough to write Chain Gon' Come. If that's true, in the sense of that influence of that room led Sam Cooke to think like, oh, maybe I should write something about the struggle, Chain Gon' Come. But, so it's not anybody that has the ultimate good. But when you are in a place where you're not allowing yourself to think or grow or evolve and have that idea, like, that's where, I have issue with a lot of people that, that liberal arts mind, like, let me see what I can, get better at today, and it went from within. So I was disappointed, but Malcolm is not God, he's not, he's not without faults. We can't deodorize him or dehumanize him, by making him sound like he's not human. He's human. So that we saw some of his flaws, out of many opportunities that get to sleep around and all that kind of stuff. Like, as a man, society have allowed us to give us a pass. Now our sisters are doing it now today, but I'll leave that alone. But like, as a man, society has allowed us for so long to slip around and do whatever we want to do. Even MLK did. I mean, and they, but they weren't gonna catch Malcolm on that because he was just so dedicated. And that's what I'm saying. I've never seen anybody so dedicated like him before. But those areas where he might not been open enough. Yeah, I'll take that out of all the things I could see man do wrong. I'll take that part. So it was at the end of the day, that's how I felt about that back then. But I love Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was humble enough to be in that room, and I was just surprised how, the fact that he was calm, or at the end of the day, he could have blown up more than he blew up. That's what I'm trying to get. I mean, and anybody talking to me like that, and I'm gonna stick it. Like, especially if I'm what he was back then,
Yeah, it's like you had the mixture of you had the city slicker of Malcolm X, and then you had the country bumpkin of Sam Cooke. And when you have city country, yeah.
You ain't gonna be silly for so long.
Yeah. Oh no. Go ahead, teach.
Another overall theme was that Muhammad Ali / Cassius Clay had just won the big fight. And that room that night was such a downer. Mm-hmm. And so intense,
yes,
that you forgot that he just won the belt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was so intense, and I was like, he should go and party, or in a more relaxed atmosphere. But this was like a heavy cloud that surrounded that room.
Yeah.
And then I came here to feel good. Now y'all got me thinking about some stuff I didn't want to think about. Got me thinking about life.
Look. And then also, y'all got two other things that they had. 2 pints of vanilla ice cream, baby. Ice cream.
You didn't even have any food in the room.
Look, Malcolm. Look. No disrespect to Malcolm X. Malcolm X, he was like he's like that one friend that used to bring all the ladies. Now all of a sudden he changed his life. You be like, yo, where the women at? Nah, man, ice cream. I changed, man. Ain't gonna do that no more.
Like you ain't bring nothing sweet for the party. Oh, I brought some sweet for the party. Come in.
Or-
What y'all know about that vanilla? Nigga, is that code for white women?
I thought it was. I thought it was. I thought it was.
Nigga, I'll be asking two questions. Niggas, you back on the dope?
Yo, well, so
Oh,
like,
then where the white women at? You said we got vanilla ice cream. Where the white women at?
You killed it.
Oh, vanilla ice cream.
oh, he's known for throwing those like Palm Beach cookouts, and you come on up in there nothing but like veggies and like all healthy food.
No. Malcolm is that. You said Malcolm, that one brother did everything before everybody else. Like he was a trendsetter. He had a mustache first. He was the first one out here knocking down females. He was the first one that got caught up in some bullshit. Like he was the one everybody want. Like I want to be like that nigga when I grow up, even though y'all 6 months apart. But now he done got right with life, and you ain't seen him in a while. And that's like, hold on, this ain't the same nigga I aspired to be. Like, so no more women, no more drinking. Nigga, did you give yourself to God? No bacon.
Hey, look, he be like, but look, I got 2 pints of ice cream though, vanilla. Go ahead, Mayo.
Once again, less vanilla's cold for white women. Get that out of my face.
Right. That's I thought I picked that up a little bit, but I was like, I'm gonna keep my mind straight. So, I try. So the thing another thing I picked up on is that I never knew that. Well, it seemed like it was because of the chatter between the young man, which I didn't know if that was Louis Farrakhan, the guy that was standing outside the door, the light-skinned one. Young light-skinned guy was standing outside the door. And when he came in and talked about the nation in front of Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad took that and said, well, like you talking about passion, the whole thing, passion changed within that time when that young man came in there and talked about the nation in a way where Muhammad was not thinking that Muhammad had thought everything was all, like straight, and when that young man came in and said, man, this, like kind of like poo-pooed a little bit and Malcolm never knew about it. So I wonder if that's a real and true life story. If there was actually that one of those guards or guys out there actually came in and said those things, and that actually made an influence on Muhammad. 1, 2, he seemed like he looked like a young Louis Farrakhan, because I've seen pictures of young Louis when he was coming behind Malcolm. And 3, I don't know why, that was one of the main scenes that I don't know if you guys talked about this already before I got into it. My apologies if you guys did already. That was one, that and the scene with Betty Shabazz when they were at Malcolm's house before he left for the trip. Well, when she was talking about the transgression of the Elijah Muhammad, those were some of the things that the brothers of the nation were mad about, or at least a couple of them. They were mad about it, on the Instagram post the day after the movie came out. They were all like, they said, it was it HBO, whoever produced the movie. Is that HBO? One of them. Anyway,
I think it was HBO.
Yeah, they had something that they banned Farrakhan from his account before, and they have an agenda against Farrakhan and all that story is just. And I'm like, come on, this is like the story that everybody know about. I mean, it's not like they told us much more outside the fact that they were beefing with Malcolm and they burnt out his house. No, all those are facts. They were like, oh man, y'all need to get your facts. Like they have another fact, like, oh, it was the CIA, it was not the nation that did it. I'm looking like, dude, the man wrote a book before he died saying that y'all, some of the things y'all did to him, and he just didn't know he was gonna die. He probably wrote that in too. That y'all killed me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and all the people that were around him. I mean, so many documentaries has been done today. And it's proven that that some brothers out of the New Jersey mosque, killed him. I mean, it's not like like this is some. I mean, but it killed him how the brothers of the nation defend this stuff. I'm like, where y'all get y'all facts from? I mean, who else would have done it?
Right.
Shot from outside the door.
That's what I was saying. I think the last show is that the Nation of Islam has the conversation that's inside the walls and the conversation for the public. And what you're talking about, Mayo, when they keep talking about Elijah Muhammad and all these women and all these kids. See, that's supposed to be behind the wall. That's not supposed to be for public consumption. And they, you know, they try to put a tag on it each and every time it gets out there because they don't want people to know, even though at this point it's common knowledge.
It's real quick. Let me go ahead and introduce our sponsor real quick for the second half of the show. Real Chairboy Popcorn. They got a new flavor out, y'all. A new flavor. And hold up, let me go ahead and get it ready for y'all. It's a brand new flavor that they got out for their popcorn.
The vanilla flavor.
Go ahead, get some.
Hold up.
Hello. Did you all know that vanilla is actually black?
Black, yes. Yes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Vanilla is, it grows, it looks like a string bean. It looks like an extra long string bean. When it's ripe, it's green. But then when it dries out, it's black. And then they go through the process of bleaching it to make it white.
Semi Sosa. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's pretty much the process. That's pretty much the process.
My bad. I'm sorry. I could have helped that one.
Hey, y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, I'm actually having some technical issues on my end, so go ahead, continue going on. I'm gonna fix my stuff on my end.
I came with Semi Sosa thing, but I mean, he's one that
hear me?
So he said bleach. But did y'all pick up that that guy, the young man, was Louis Farrakhan? Is that who that was supposed to be, or just another guy?
I think
I
don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I think the way it was portrayed, that's an illusion. Like that's something that the viewer could infer. You know, it's not necessarily because it has some historical value. We do know that Lewis was around him at that time.
What?
It would stand to say intelligently that might have been him. He might have been there. So yeah, we'll throw somebody in that kind of look like him, because who's to say, other than Farrakhan himself and Jim Brown, because they're the only ones alive, that could confirm if that actually happened and what actually happened that night, if so. So it's a good little thing to throw out there for the conversation, and just to add that more historic value to it. Because like I said earlier, the thing's done in the manner like you asked. It's done in a manner to where you actually have to question the legitimacy of it, because there's so many true facts based within it. You have to remind yourself that this is based off a play. This is a work of fiction, but it's fact-based fiction, and it's the best kind of facts-based fiction because you have a hard time trying to understand where the fiction lies.
Interesting. That's true. But yeah, I mean,
I want to give a shout out to the brother that played Cassius.
Yeah, but
he did a hell of a job. He's also does video games as well. So my first introduction to him was in Mafia 3, where he played the lead character, kind of a similar setup, during 60s Louisiana, that whole form of racism and civil rights. Wow. So to see him in a more live action aspect of it, it was very wonderful, and it was like he did his thing. And then I was happy with his performance. I was happy with all their performances. They definitely encompassed who they were meant to portray, without trying to go for the whole physical aspect of it. I mean, my man's really ain't look like him, but he walked in and you felt that Muhammad Ali swagger. Like you felt it, like, yes, good job, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was in love with the movie before it came out. I think that because I love thinking about moments like that people don't talk about, that into history, and influential folks were actually in some rooms together, powerful energy in the rooms those times, and we just never knew about it. But somewhere along the way, I was disappointed, and at the end of the day, it was just too much of that room, opposed to the energy was down. But I know we're about to add here, so
I feel like if it did happen, I feel like that movie is a collaboration of multiple little mini conversations and interactions that all four of them had amongst each other.
What?
And through those stories, you just kind of, because there probably was a night where just Sam and Malcolm had a conversation.
What?
They might have met each other in the same town for different occasions. And, during that time, black folk could only eat at a certain spot. So, shoot, they was probably ended up in the same back door kitchen, eating the same pork chops and gravy.
So apologies for my
conversation there.
Sorry about my computer taking a dump on me. But this is a new popcorn flavor that Real Cheddar Boy Popcorn has been working on. The Hurricane.
The Hurricane. That sounds like
good. What's in it?
Well, he doesn't say exactly what's in it. Well, here we go. Somebody did ask for the ingredients. It's a lot of seafood ingredients.
Seafood.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds different.
Yeah. So guess who's going to get the taste test of it first? I'm just saying. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste myself.
I'm trying to put those type of taste buds in my mental mouth right now, like popcorn. I'm like sea salt.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
I'm trying to think in my head, like, what kind of ingredients could you for seafood? Like, he gonna have
look like chunks of blue cheese.
Yeah, and then also I'm looking at. I was thinking like the black right here is raisins, but it's not raisins. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. This is one of their newest flavors, y'all.
Let me find out my man's over here making gourmet,
Much success to them. I know somebody's gonna like it.
That's caviar. It's called Hurricane because it's made with sea salt, Zatarain's seasoning. Caviar is black stuff with lobster and shrimp chunks. That's why it's called Hurricane.
And then also, and if you are around here locally, this is what they got going on. Once again, the hot dog
franchise.
Look at that.
Franchise.
Look at that.
I love it. Yes,
the dogs that they already barking. Look at it. We got one satisfied customer right here.
I'm refusing to look at it right now.
Look at that goodness.
I'm hungry and I can't go up the street and get one right now. So I can order the popcorn. I can't order the hot dog.
Look at that,
so
ladies and gentlemen. If you're here locally, if you are locally, go get their hot dogs. I have to try one myself. I have not tried one for myself, but I promise you I am going to. But look at little man. Look at that. You can be just excited, just happy as hell. With Cheddar Boy Popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. So
only good food make everybody do a fat kid dance.
Yeah, I know, right?
If you do a fat kid dance that's grade A food, you need to support it. Cause think about all the times you yourself did the fat kid dance. Or the fat kid show.
So with all that we gotten from the movie, Jim Brown, he was basically the middleman. You had the two different ideas and personalities of Sam Cooke and Malcolm X, and then you had poor Muhammad Ali. I'm happy that Cheech touched on this.
I won't say poor. I'll say you had two extremes of convictions, a balanced perception, and then one that was still trying to find himself or still find where he could invest his energy. That's what I got it from, because Sam and Malcolm was they was headstrong, like they was about what they thought.
Oh yeah.
Jim was right there in the middle. He was like, I see points for both of y'all, but Malcolm was still like, I could go either way.
Well, I didn't think Sam dogged Malcolm as much as Malcolm dogged Sam. That's what I mean.
Of course, because they were both devout in what they thought. Like we said, they both felt as though their path was the most successful and the most quickest in their perceptive view.
And I don't
be forgetting. Go ahead, Mayo. Go ahead, Mayo.
I don't think that Sam again, because remember Sam had said at some point, like, why aren't you do you let me do me? Like in the sense that like you could do it. But Malcolm was like, nah, this is my way is the way. He was like, my way is the way, this right way. And Sam was still there, but like, hey, yo, don't poo-poo on my way, because that's when he started talking about the things that he did and all that kind of stuff. So it for me, it's still just the aggression of Malcolm, which like I said, I saw that aggression in many ways, but not to the point where he can't even give another person that is on this level, so to speak, in the sense of, like I guess respect, like hey, hold on, like I'm doing something too, like don't just think, like because I'm not out there doing what you're doing means I'm not doing anything. Now Malcolm pulled out on that he could do more, that's one thing that I liked about it, but to take I think Malcolm looked in that role. Malcolm looked like a villain. He did. He looked like that. He looked like that negative Nancy, where
somebody's got to come off as antagonist in every scenario. So whoever the most aggressive or the most disagreeable.
Because
he had that total spirit of imperialism. It is the American way. He embodied that spirit in that scene, and I think for
Detroit
me.
Red, baby.
Well,
I love my white women. Those by any means, and I love my white women.
But also one thing that Teach brought on that we're not talking about, for that moment, nobody wasn't celebrating Muhammad Ali's win. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go out and party.
Because it's funny. It's a scenario where celebrities get around each other and they show their humanity. It's always a funniest thing to see a celebrity respond to another celebrity, and like both of them are geeked over each other. And it's like, hold on, both of y'all are famous. Like, I just got through geeking over you. Why you geeking over him as much as I'm geeking? Like, I'm the regular person. You're the celebrity.
Right.
You shouldn't be geek. So he got that mentality. Like, he walked in like, I'm pretty, but then walked in and seen it's like, oh shit, I got Jim Brown, I got Sam Cooke, I got Malcolm X. Like, I know I'm pretty and all, but
yeah.
Like he feel like a pimp. Like this too much pimping for me right here. Like I might have to. Let me fall back. Like, I know I just want pimp of the year and everything, but I got OG pimping status right now.
But it's a beautiful feeling. I had an opportunity to work on various government levels, from the county to the state to the international, and each group of people is different. And it wasn't until I got to the international that I felt like I was at home. And you can appreciate people. I know when I used to read history and I said, ooh, this person knew this person, because sometimes you taught about Booker T. Washington, or you taught about Du Bois, but you never see them at the same time at the same space. And then you read and you continue to read their lives, because they were on the same level, their lives converged, and oftentimes they were friends. They had barbecues. They watched their children grow up. When one was hurting, the other was hurting. When one needed money, the other one came to step in, because we're reading about them in history. We're not living with them. And so what we've seen in that room were these different people in history come all together and know each other as brothers, as friends. Some went way back. Some were newly introduced to one another. So it's a wonderful thing. And, when they say cream rises to the top, so they had to be in the same room because they were living at the same time.
And still, Muhammad Ali just wanted to party. He just wanted to celebrate. That's all he wanted to do. One thing.
He
He was Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. What was it? Rush Hour 2? I think it was Rush Hour 3, where he was like, "I want some Mushu," and then you got Chad over there. What? You hungry? That's basically what happened. But coming on to the top of the hour, and then we're gonna get into the segments. We're gonna take a travel to Africa, and then we're gonna go into the community with Beast Johnson. What do go ahead, Mayo, real quick.
So
and then
one thing I hope, and this is like more like a takeaway. One thing I hope that the next generation really takes away from this is that for the folks who are poo-pooing on Jim Brown today, for whatever reason, or he supported Trump, whatever, because of political reasons, where those are his choices and options. Things that where he just says, "This is who I like." For folks who are doing that, they need to look back and see the work that he's done, because some of them are some of them are so young they might not know the extent of what he did when he got together with Lujan Syndrome, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the Strat and Muhammad Ali and all the athletic guys. He brought them together back then. He led those efforts back then. People don't really know that depth of what he's done. When Mike Vick got arrested, that's why I get mad when I hear anybody talk bad about Jim Brown. And Mike Vick got arrested for dogfighting. He was one of the folks that said, how dare the NFL commissioner, punish a man for doing all that when he got people that have been that doing worse than, to human beings, then pretty much he stood up for Mike Vick out of the fact that most athletes, former athletes, did not stand up. He had been their spokesperson until he decided to support one person in one party that we might not like because he had said something bad about Obama. So I think that I hope that people took that out of it and said, "Oh wow, we can't just hate this guy now after all he's ever done." People that might not know.
So before we 2 minutes from the top of the hour, you love the movie, you kind of like the movie, or you just didn't like it? Starting with Beast.
I like the movie. It's a good movie. I would call it's a good movie for friends or when you're having folk over. It's interesting enough to keep everybody's attention, and it'll lead to some very engaging dialogue after the fact.
Okay, Mayo.
So I like I said earlier, I was in love with the movie before it came out. I was a little bit disappointed, but it was not because of it was just something about them in that room and being so down for too long. I thought there would be more sense to it, but if that's the history part of it, that's what you got to tell. And I love history, so I love the fact that I was like excited about it, and I love Regina King's work. She did a good job, and I do. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say this and I like it, but I was in love with it coming in. I ended up falling to the place where I feel like I kind of like it now, so to speak.
Okay. Teach.
I think it was okay. I think that room scene just overshadowed the fact that he just won that night. I think they could have they could have had it another night in Miami and not the night that he won. It then just overshadowed the win because you wanted to relive that moment because I was a little girl at the time. I wanted to relive that moment, the joys and the excitements and the crowds, and just like if they would have did a flash of how people were dancing in the street and how people just celebrated him because he won and he was so young. They could have did the few hours in the room and then had a real party scene, and not just at the hotel, but just show how people may have been partying all over. Just little, how they do the little news flashes of people partying all over to bring us back to that celebratory mode. So just kind of, the room ended. They went to little hotel. Sam Cooke sang the song and it was off, and it was like, huh? So you didn't get to celebrate. You didn't get to celebrate. So for that, it was okay. It was okay. It was just okay.
For me, I would say I liked it because it also shows where us as Black folks that want to work within the system and want to work without the system is still an issue today. And then also the Jim Brown character also showed that You got a lot of those brothers and sisters out there that just like, look, well, we can take what you got, we can take what you got, and we can combine it and we can make it work. We just can't go to one extreme to another, because eventually it's gonna cause a war. It's gonna cause for people just to break up. And then you got Muhammad Ali, where I'm like, damn, can we celebrate me? This is the reason why we all.
Can we go get a bacon burger?
Right. We homeboys, and I think that's also a learning thing too, where we all just have our own type of set of ways, and it get matched up with the moment for somebody. He could have won president, and everybody's so worried about somebody else because you got two big egos and alpha males or alpha females go at each other, and you forget that we're here for them. So with that, we have to celebrate the victories when we can and put our insecurity and our beliefs aside and be like, you know what? We're here to celebrate him or her and their accomplishment. We, at the end of the day, we homies, homegirls, we're bruh. Let's celebrate with them and just put all that to the side. But other than that, let's go to Teach. Teach, your segment is up. I will have your videos and everything ready for you because I'm ready to travel back to Africa. Are you ready? Are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
We all ready. So let's go and get our passport.
Malcolm style. We want to go to AU meeting.
Let's go to Africa.
Yamala. That is how you say hello in the native of Cameroon. We will be in Cameroon for the Basso Eseka Festival 2021, March 8th through the 13th. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have a desire to travel with me, you can book with us until the 31st of January. So if you're interested in traveling with me, go ahead and get in contact with me on Facebook, Anita Joke. If Donnell will show the clip, show you some of the activities that we participated in. If you show the clip for 1 minute, okay, well, this is a clip of us. We're at the Ubuntu Village. This village was just opened up, and that's what we're going to see in the next scene. So you have the masquerade and the holy men actually offering up the prayers and the veneration to bless this event and this space, this Ubuntu village. I am because you are. And if you press play, yeah, and so this is the spiritual aspect and the spiritual blessing that was put upon this conference in Cameroon. We were celebrating the 40th anniversary of Sertatola, which is the Center for Documentation of African Languages and Culture. And if you'll go ahead to the next video. The next video is right there in the center is that's Charles Bina Pacoy. He is the Secretary Executive of Sertatola, which is the Central African Preservation of Language. And the guy that's directly in front of me, because I'm filming this is the Minister of Culture. And if I don't know if you can see the lady, well, she had on burgundy. She is the president's daughter, and you're going to see another man. This man right here, he is the Minister of Information for the country of Mali. So these are the type of events that we participate in, high-level events with many government officials from all around the world. So this was the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Ubuntu village. So again, we will be traveling to Cameroon March 8th through the 13th. And if you want to participate, just inbox me. And then I want to let you know that we are reaching our goal. We still have a ways to go. And if you have not donated for our Global Community Service Day, the link is below. You can click on the link and make your donations. I want to thank everyone who has participated, and thank you for helping make this trip another memorable occasion. And with that, I say thank you very much for indulging me and watching and experiencing Cameroon as I experienced it with so many wonderful, wonderful individuals. And also, we're going to get a chance to meet the children at the Bosco Secondary School to do our presentation of the tablets and the internet service. And with that, I say goodbye for now, because I don't know how to say goodbye in the Cameroon language, but I will before it's all over. All right. Good night.
Thank you so much, Teach. Right now, Beast Johnson is actually handling some things right now, so I'm gonna take this time to tell you the new things on this show and what's to look forward to. So I reached out to a battle buddy of mine who I worked with in the Fort Campbell, who's from my neck of the woods of Virginia, and he's now back there, who has a successful real estate business. Yes, a successful real estate business, has agreed to come on this show. We have not picked a date yet. We're still talking and still making the necessary moves so that he can come up on here to actually explain to you. It's not a seminar, as they want to give these fancy words. He's actually going to explain to you what is real estate, how to start a revenue stream with real estate, mortgage, all that great stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, I told you we're going to be doing a lot in this show, and that is one of them. And for you to pick the right house, and also how to flip that house, and also how to understand your mortgage much, much more thoroughly. And then also for veterans like myself who have a VHA loan, how to use it and when is a good time to use it. And Beast, he is back. I thought he was back. I guess not. So, but yeah. So more to come on that show. Also, once again, I want to let y'all know about the WET Network. Stop sleeping on the WET Network, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, he is back. And so, also, real quick before we go to Beast Community, please donate to Teachers Society to go to Cameroon. I'm still got the highest for the male side of $65. I'm gonna keep bragging about it. My battle buddy who's watching right now, I'm not gonna mention your name. She know I'm talking about her. Thank you for donating. She appreciated it so very, very much. Teach is very close to her goal, ladies and gentlemen. Donate to her organization, so that the kids can get that internet, to get that education, also to get the laptops as well. Once again, guys, I got the highest still, 65. Get on my level. Get on my level. It's going to continue strolling till the end of the show. Now, it's time to take a stroll. Time to walk down the streets of Beast Community.
When we think about community involvement, most people think about the big, grandiose moves and actions, setting up programs and activities. When community involvement is literally just involving yourself in the community, no matter the links or amounts, just be involved when necessary or when called upon. You don't have to know every person in your neighborhood or in your community, but you can make yourself open when the time calls. I think about when I was growing up, I got in a lot of fights. Everybody in the neighborhood fought. That's what we did. But it got to the point where my dad felt some kind of way. So it was like, look, you're going to keep fighting. You're going to learn the right way to fight. So he took me into martial arts. Now, how did he know to do martial arts? Well, I had a neighbor that stayed 3 doors up. There was a black belt. And he does it in the neighborhood. My dad saw him. They struck up the conversation. And as a result, I ended up doing martial arts for the bulk of my life up until about 19. And ended up achieving my black belt. That was all off one little meager acknowledgement. You got something that I would like to invest in that could help my kid. Would you be willing? Yes. And even after my father passed on, he's still involved and took on that type of paternal role throughout my adolescence and my teens, still making sure that I had that upbringing. And as I'm an older adult now, I involve myself the same way. If I have any type of knowledge or just little tips that could help the next generation, and I see them in a situation that would help them with this information, I give it to them. Hey, little man, if you're gonna be playing football, make sure you keep grip right around the laces. Focus on your aim and everything like that. Give them whatever little tips and tricks I've come across, because I find that when you just give the information to those that are willing and those that are accessible to it, you'll find yourself in a position of favor later on down the line for doing something insignificant as just saying, hey, you want to learn how to do this? Okay, well, these are some things that I know of, and they might help you. You listen, you don't. It's your choice. But they do, and that information was so vital to them that they paid it forward into their community and now incorporated their community into your community by way of this my OG, this the individual that gave me the knowledge and information I needed to put me where I'm at now. Would you be willing to do the same thing? Or, hey, these people are here to help you with your situation because they heard about how you helped me with mine. It's that simple and that easy. So don't necessarily think about community involvement as being something big and a humanitarian Nobel Peace Prize type of endeavor. It's just simply being concerned, being attentive, being observant. And if you have any means of help or assistance to give at that time, then do so. You never know what kind of benefit it's going to give you in the long run. So I hope y'all enjoyed walking through my community, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Let's get down to these final thoughts.
Gentlemen, I just want to do this to y'all again. That happened because somebody's internet had issues and problems. This is from Cheddarboard Popcorn, just in case you didn't tune in on that Friday. Here you go. Mm. Y'all see that goodness, right? See that goodness. The innovations from this man, it makes me want to do much, much more with this show. Nothing should stop you. And another point that I want to bring in on the religious part of it, of from the movie, is that we are gods. I don't care if y'all say I'm sacrilegious for saying that. Come at me, bro. We are gods. Look up a video where Barry White, when he was asked about it, he said he praised himself. One of the things that kills me every time, at one time, ladies and gentlemen, I used to watch award shows like back to back. No matter what it is, it was the Nickelodeon Award, Kids Choice Awards, it was the Grammys, it was even sometimes the Emmys, even the daytime awards. I used to sit back and watch, and the one thing that, and then MTV Movie Awards and BET Awards. One thing that kills me every time is they always say, I want to thank God, and and I'm like, oh my gosh. Nobody ever thanks themselves. There's nothing wrong with saying, I want to thank myself for all the blood, the sweat, and tears that I did. And it was one person that did that. And that was Snoop Dogg. When he got his star in Hollywood, when he said, I would love to thank myself, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Who else did it for him? He did it. He did it. Nobody else came in and made him get up every day to slap down a new track or go on a movie set or start a new business or and all that stuff, do a show. Snoop Dogg did that. I know a lot of y'all Christians out there, a lot of y'all Muslims out there, wherever religion y'all is, it's great to have that, to be one with a higher power that's bigger than you. That's great. But when you sit there and give all your thanks and praises to that entity, you basically just discounted yourself. You basically did not give all the love and the thanks and praise to yourself and what you put to the table and what you have done. So be mindful. You say, I give all the praise to Jesus. No, you should be giving the praise to yourself, because guess what? Jesus is not living your life for you. You are living your life. You're the product of your life. Life don't happen to you. Life happened for you. Wherever you believe, if you believe that everything is positive, that today's going to be a great day, guess what? You just manifest a great day for yourself. But if you believe negative and just believe that everything is just going to crumble, everything is going to fall in the sea, you just manifest that for yourself. Jesus didn't do it. And then also just stop, Jesus can judge me. Stop that. Tell that to a judge. Man, judge, you can't judge me. Only I can judge myself. And I'm innocent. Okay, 25 years. Next plaintiff. Next case. Tell that to a judge. So stop it. Because if you didn't care what anybody says, you wouldn't even be saying anything like that. Realize you make things happen. Nobody else, no other entity. You are your own God. You are your own universe. For you to make a way for yourself, guess what you got to do? You got to make a way for yourself. And in the process, thank yourself. Love yourself. Hug yourself. Say, yeah, I did it. Also, for a little help you get, thank them too. But most of all, thank yourself. Because the only thing that's betting on you is you. And that right there is my final thought.
My final thought, franchise, Mr. Jones. I love seeing your expanded selection of foods and eateries. But I'm in North Carolina and you in the state of Washington, and that hot dog looks fucking good, and I can't go get it. And I can't have it ordered because it ain't going to taste right once you get here. So, franchise. I also say that to bring up the subject of support. It don't take nothing to support nobody. If you fuck with it, tell everybody you fuck with it. And reason why you fuck with it. Now, I speak that language for the more simplistic minded. But if you truly love that product or that service, then word of mouth always works. And also to Black folk and Black businesses, I ask you a question. How many unsuccessful times have you seen two companies or two different products come together to create another product and it not benefit the individual products? Taco Bell and Cheetos. Oh, excuse me, KFC and Cheetos. Taco Bell and Doritos. Coke and Pepsi. Coke with McDonald's. I could ramble on countless ones. Point being, those companies supported each other and networked and did some collab, and now more people are aware of their product. More people go for their product, as well as the combined effort between the two products only putting more money back into their individual pockets. So if big companies can do this, why Black folk can't do this? Why the local Black-owned businesses can't come together? Why can't two videographers come together and create an entity together that helps them individually make the money they want to make? How come DJs and bands can't come together and set up some shit to get it rocking? How come barbers and beauticians can't come together and get it popping? With tattoo artists. Network, support. It's the easiest things to do. It's the freest things to do. It's the cheapest things to do. But they also give you the most benefit and blessings if you do it right and you do it sincerely. And that's my final thought for the night.
Hey folks, how y'all doing? Another good day, another good evening to y'all. My final thought would just be one that I've always carried along in my life, and it's to be nice. Just be nice. We hear it a lot, and sometimes we allow our day to affect how we treat others. We affect life itself, and the hard days of life to affect us and how we treat others. And we need to just find a way to not be so caught up in the fact that we're often told that it's a dog eat dog world, and if you're not nice, somebody, if you're nice, somebody's gonna take advantage of you and all this. So if you can, smile at somebody tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, smile at somebody, and let them know that their day is gonna be better. Their day can be better. Let them know that there's a human being in you when you walk across their face. I mean, we're not supposed to be going too many places right now, but you at the grocery store, you at something. It's kind of hard to smile. See, I just thought about it with the mask and all that. But just do nice things. Do nice deeds. It's something about life that when you do that, it passes along and carries along. I just can't think of any. That's the number one message I would give to anybody, at any point of life, because it's like a gift they can hand to somebody that can make the rest of the day great or greater, or they can carry it along for the rest of the day, and it's just it's sustained so hard in a good way that it ricochets up to the next person, and most of the time, if that person's a sharing person too, and they're not some narcissistic person, they probably receive it, then take it back and to the next person that they see or so. So it just those little gestures to people that we might not know. You never know what they're going through. Even if they're at the highest of the time, it's just still like the least that we can do is to smile at each other. We're just living beings on this planet. There's so many things we'll never see, so many things that we have never seen, so many things that we have not seen yet, and so many people in all those same categories. So just imagine how big the globe is and how small we are within it. And if I can make an impact every day, even if it's incrementally into people's lives, why not? Why not make a positive impact? So, be nice, smile, and do little things that you think that might not matter. They all do matter. Make somebody's life better. Thank you. And I will see you guys on Friday.
Well, it's that time again. And, I've told you I'm one to have one of those pajama jobs. And what goes with that is you don't exercise, you're not moving a lot. And a lot of people have picked up that COVID weight. So I just want to show you just some simple things that you can do just to stretch, just move. I've gotten so stiff, but we have to keep moving. So keep moving, keep exercising. And that is my final thought. Move. So you can keep moving. Move and keep moving. All right. Kwaheri Yakukaona. Goodbye until we meet again.
And thank you so much, T. She just gave me the proper. She was like, all right, all right. Hey, I am on the pro, and I'm going to keep it right there. Put it down to the ground. Yeah. Hey, I'm on the road.
What are they doing? Somebody don't have the problem on there.
See, here's the difference. We the generation that was built to get up and move, and your body only sit down when it's time to rest. So when we in this position and we open and cognitive body's like, I'm confused. Like my feet, I feel, what? I'm supposed to be asleep. You sitting down. You're supposed to be asleep. That's why I can't sit down for so long.
Don't worry. I've been working out too, Teach. I'm about to work out a little bit more too. So that's very inspirational. But Friday is our next show. We are going to, Friday, I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to, but I will let y'all all know. But other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in as Teach keep doing her stretches. As for her, Anita Joe, aka Teach, don't forget to donate to her society. For Mayo, to Peace Johnson, and me as your gracious host, Donald Monte-Morse, thank y'all for tuning in. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Sky Zone Society and Cheddar Boy Popcorn, for sponsoring the show. Thank y'all so very, very much. It's time for us to go. Outro. We will see you maybe on Friday. I'll let y'all know on Thursday. Y'all have a good one here. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Peace.
Bye.